Welcome back in. Hour number 2 of the lunch break. Appreciate you joining us. President's Day edition. Traffic was very nice driving in this morning. Nobody on the roads. Felt like I was driving. Part of me woke up this morning and thought it was Sunday because that's how empty the roads were when I was driving in this morning. So if you're out and about, you're getting some stuff done here on the holiday. Appreciate you joining us on this edition of the lunch break. The Suns will take a couple more days off before they'll be back in action on Thursday. We'll take on the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio in what will be, I think, and what we are going to call here today, the most important week of the season for the Phoenix Suns. I think this week is the make it or break it week for this team and their playoff hopes. You know the drill by now, but I'll give you an update just in case. 11th right now in the Western Conference, a game and a half back of Sacramento and Golden State, who hold on to the 9 and 10 spots respectfully. 28 games to go. The hardest schedule in the NBA. The Suns will be looking to snap a 3-game losing streak when they take on San Antonio on Thursday. Winners of 3 of their last 10. Just a lot of bad right now. None of that I just gave you was good. Game and a half out of the play-in tournament. 2 games below 500. Hardest schedule remaining in the NBA. Losers of 3 in a row. 3 of their last 10. A lot of bad right now for the Phoenix Suns. And that's why this week is so important. Because they will start with San Antonio, who they are 2 games better than in the standings. And I know San Antonio just added De'Aaron Fox. They are a different team than the team that they were before they got De'Aaron Fox. He's a difference maker. Him and Wemby is a dynamic duo, to use the phrase we always talk about here on this show. They're different. They're going to present a challenge for the Phoenix Suns. But record-wise, the Suns better than the San Antonio Spurs. Saturday, they'll be in Chicago to take on the 22-33 Chicago Bulls. Now, the Bulls are in a playoff spot because the Eastern Conference is potentially the worst conference in all of sports. The 7 through 10 seeds are all teams below 500. The Chicago Bulls have a 400 winning percentage. They're going to be a play-in tournament team. That's the team you're going to play on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you're going to take the short flight up to Toronto to take on the 17-38 Toronto Raptors. 3 teams, 3 games, 3 opponents that you are better than record-wise. We did the thing on Friday's show. We told you how brutal the season is going to get for the Phoenix Suns in the second half. We told you the stretch from March 21st to the end of the season is potentially the hardest stretch in the NBA. I'll remind you, if you're unfamiliar, this is March 21st through the end of the season. So we're about a month away from this stretch starting. Home against Cleveland, home against Milwaukee, home against Brooklyn, at Minnesota, home against Houston, at Milwaukee, at Boston, at the Knicks, home against Golden State, home against Oklahoma City, home against San Antonio, at Sacramento. You take off the San Antonio and Sacramento game. March 21st through April 8th, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, New York, Golden State, Oklahoma City. There is not a single respite. There is not a single break. There is not a single soft spot in that stretch. We told you the math on Friday. This team, 41-41, should do it. 41-41 should get the job done. That should be able to allow you to sneak in as the 10 seed. That means 15. 15 is the magic number for the Phoenix Suns. I just read you a stretch that I don't think it would actually play out this way, but it's a legit possibility they don't win a single game in that stretch. Let's count up the number of games there and Tell me if it's not a possibility. Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, New York, Golden State, Oklahoma City. That's 9 games. That is a 9-game stretch where it would not surprise me. I would not open the show completely caught off guard that if they lost 9 in a row. Again, I don't think they will. They'll steal something in there. Houston at home stands out to me. Potentially home against Golden State stands out to me as 2 that they could steal. But that's it. That's the season right there. You got to get to that stretch with a lot of this work already having been done, with a lot of those 15 games that we talk about already in your back pocket. Well, guess what? You've got 3 of those 15 this week. 3 of the magical 15, and there's not a lot in that 9-game stretch that we just talked about. We said maybe 2. So that means you got 2 of the 15 you need. That means you have to get 13 of the remaining 19 games that you're going to play. That is a tall task for this team. That's why this week is so important. That's why this week, to me, is going to be the make it or break it. And I hate to put this type of pressure on a team. I hate to set this kind of standard. This is a 3-0 week. If this is not a 3-0 week, if we get in here on Monday, February 24th, and we're recapping those Chicago-Toronto games, or we get in here on Friday and they lost to San Antonio, I don't see a world where they're going to get the 15 that they need. They're running out of those weak spots. They're running out of games where they are record-wise the better basketball team. There aren't that many options left. So this week, these 3 games against 2 clear opponents that you're better than. You're better than Chicago. You're better than Toronto. I don't care that you have to go on the road for the next 3. Most of your team, other than Kevin Durant and Ryan Dunn, have had some time off. You last played on Wednesday. So you've had a lot of time off to reset and to get ready for this stretch, to get ready for these important games. And you get Toronto and Chicago again right before that tough 9-game stretch. That's 5 of the 15. That's a third of the job done. It starts on Thursday. If this team can't get us to Monday, if they can't get us to Monday's show, a week from today, we are sitting here 12/10, February 24th, 2025. If we are not talking about a team that went 3-0 in this 3-game stretch, I don't know how you can believe that they're going to be able to get there. Now, maybe it won't take 41 wins to get into the postseason. Maybe. But you certainly aren't going to think it's likely that a below 500 basketball team is going to make the playoffs, because it would require Sacramento and Golden State to also hit the skids, to also struggle and slip. This is the week for the Phoenix Suns. This is it. And so Thursday's game becomes very important. Saturday and Sunday's games, they become so important. And I would hate to call the Phoenix Suns season over on Friday's show if they lose to San Antonio. But I'd feel pretty close to open the show on Friday if they lose on Thursday in San Antonio. If they think about that game for just a second. You've had all this time off, other than Kevin Durant and Ryan Dunn. But you've had this time off. You know that this quote-unquote first half, the pre-All-Star break portion of your schedule, has not lived up to what you want it to be. You didn't want to be 2 games below 500. You didn't want to be the 11-seeded team in the Western Conference. You didn't want to be outside the playoff picture altogether. You don't want any of that. That is not what you signed up for when this team was put together. So you know the pressure that's on you. You know that you only have 28 games to make the change, to make the adjustments, to turn things around. If they come out on Thursday and they're flat and they lose, I'll put it on the record now. We are going to end the Phoenix Suns season on Friday's show. We're going to end it. And we are going to start to turn the page towards the offseason. How could you not? You have everything to play for. Your season's not done. You have a team, an opponent on Thursday that record-wise you are better than, that you have been better than all year long. You have to take care of business. If you come out and you're flat And there isn't the intensity that these final 28 games, these are 28 playoff games for the Phoenix Suns. That's what they are. They are 28 playoff-style games for the Phoenix Suns. There is little, if any, margin for error. We've said 15. They play 28 games. That means they have to go 15-13 just to get to 500. That's the magic number. 15. Do the math yourself. Look at the schedule. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit for some games, but trust me, I gave you the tough stretch. They've got Denver again. They've got Dallas again coming up. Those games are on the road. They've got Minnesota again. They've lost 6 in a row to Minnesota. They've got 2 more with them before the season's over. Are they going to all of a sudden find it against Minnesota? If they do, great. That's one of the ones you got to steal to get to 15. But it all starts on Thursday. So we are setting the groundwork now. We are setting the table now. 28 playoff-style games the rest of the way. That is what the Phoenix Suns have. And if they don't start with a 3-0 stretch, if they don't start with this team on Monday being 29-28 and being 1 game above 500, then I don't know if it's worth it to play this game every day. I don't know if it's worth it to play the win-loss game and see, oh, they can pick up a game here. But if you lose to Chicago or Toronto, how am I supposed to pick you to go into Denver and beat Denver? Or beat the Clippers at home? Your season is on the line. Your chance at this not being potentially one of the worst seasons in Suns history, considering the expectations. Your chance to make sure that doesn't happen is right in front of you with these 28 games. 28 games to make sure that doesn't happen. It starts on Thursday, and it must, absolutely must, start with a 3-0 week.